Hey, how are you guys doing today? I am going to wait to start this live for just a couple seconds, maybe almost a minute. I just want to make sure that it is live and that you guys can see it. I did a live last week and it didn't show up and only one person saw it. It was so weird. And I know another ambassador did that and she was having a little bit of trouble as well. So before I really dive into this and finish a project, I want to make sure that it is working. So if you guys are watching the replay, if you will just bear with me for just a minute while I double check this, then we will get started. So if you guys are able to watch this with me, then just, if you can leave me a comment so that I know, even if it's just a thumbs up, so that I know that you guys can see it, that would be super amazing. I'm gonna comment as well, just to see if that will pop up. Okay, I do see a couple people starting to join, so that's good. Let's see. I see my comment, so let me just make sure. As soon as I get one more comment on here, making sure that it's just working, then I will get started and we will go from there. I have a cool thing to show you guys today. It is a secretary dresser. This is an old secretary dresser, and I just saw the stamp on the back. January 25th, 1961 is when this was made, and it is a sturdy, solid piece. It's a really cool piece. And I've had it for a little while, and we kind of did some rearranging, and so I decided that I would do something else with it, make something cool out of it, and then sell it. So this one will be available. This is going to be, my idea for this is kind of like a really funky coffee nook bar. I thought that was a good use for it because it does have this top part that opens up and it has the storage cubbies and that in it. So I thought that would be a good way to use it. And then on the outside, we'll just do something really funky. I have one of something new that I'm going to be adding to it, and I'm really excited about that. As soon as I can share it, I will share it with you guys. But in the meantime, I will just show you what I can show you right now. Okay. I'm still not seeing any... Let's see, any comments? I'm sorry, you guys, this has taken just a minute to get going. I just really want to make sure that this is going to work before I do a whole live again. Okay. Let me try one thing. Oh, there we go. Okay, you guys are popping up. I think we're going to be good. Hopefully. Okay, good. I see your comments. Okay. All right. Thank you for being patient. Let's get started. I'm sorry that took just a minute. That is not a norm for me, and I typically don't wait, but I learned my lesson. Okay. So what I have done to this piece to prepare it so far is this piece was green. I cleaned it and I just kind of sanded it to rough it up so that I could get my paint to adhere well. And I have, and you know, let me just turn this down just a touch. I have white Snow Owl from Wise Owl paint on here. And then you can kind of see this design that I've taped in here. So I've just taped off a design of stripes, okay? And there's stripes going this way and this way. It's kind of like an arrow pattern. And I'm going to put different transfers in these stripes. And then the other stripes, I'll decide whether I want to leave it that kind of teal undertone or if I want to paint it black underneath. So with that, we'll get started. So after I've got it painted on there, it's all dry. My area here and here has a little bit of texture. I'm going to be painting some florals with you guys using the impasto paints, the Art Alchemy impasto paints. You can get these from Redesign with Prima. And then in here we'll add transfers. So the first thing I want to do is I'm just going to sand it just a little bit. And the only reason for that is just to give me a little bit smoother surface, number one. And number two, just to make sure that my paint is like really adhered because I'm painting over another finish. And so I always like to just check that and make sure we're good there. I'm going to use the super fine sand pad from Surf Prep Sanding. These are awesome. These are called rad pads. They're really nice to sand things by hand. I do have a discount code, Apple Blossom 10, if you go to Surf Prep Sanding site and you enter that, you can get 10% off of anything there. So Apple Blossom 10. So I'm just going to use the super fine rad pad and just kind of go over my surface and even if it distresses a little bit, I'm okay with that. But I'm just going to kind of go over it just a little bit, right over the tape too, because I haven't removed my tape and I'm fine with that. So just kind of go over it right over the tape area, a little bit over where I painted here. I've added a tiny bit of texture, but not too much. So just go over that just a little bit. And down here as well. And that way I know that my paint is pretty stuck to it. So we're looking good that way. It hasn't cured. I painted this on probably, I don't know, 20 minutes ago. And paint typically takes about 28 days to fully cure. So always remember that when you're using paint, that don't be super rough with it at first. You know, kind of be gentle because it needs time to really harden and create those bonds, the permanent bonds. All right, so I'm just wiping it down with a dry cloth. And let's go ahead and apply the transfers first, and then we'll start painting some florals because I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do with the florals, and I kind of want to give myself a little bit of time with that. So I pulled out two different transfers. The part that I'm going to be using on the front that I can't show you yet is kind of a funky design, and it has some different elements to it. So I decided just to go really wild and add whatever elements I wanted to add. Maggie, come! Maggie! Maggie, come! There must be someone outside that Maggie can see she's barking at. Okay, so I've got the Folk 1 transfer. And I also grabbed the Cheetah transfer just because I feel like you could add Cheetah to almost anything and it's kind of fun. Maggie, come! Maggie, come! I'm gonna see if Maggie will come in here. Sorry, guys. She's been so good. She's actually just been laying in the front room this whole time. So I don't know what her deal is. So the Folk 1 transfer is... She's not gonna give up. Maggie! I'm gonna bring her in here, you guys. You know what? Last time I did this, I felt really bad, and so I gave away a transfer. This has happened one time before. It's been a long time. And I feel bad again, so I'm gonna give away another transfer. If you will stick around while I just run and grab her, then say you want a transfer, and I'll send you one. One transfer. Hold on just a sec. Maggie. Be our special guest for today. All right, she's gonna be our special guest. Say hi, Max. All right, so yes, I'm going to give away a transfer. Comment that you want one, and I will choose someone and send it to you. And Maggie will join us today. I apologize for her barking. I'm a little bit loving on her. I had two golden doodles and one of them passed away last week, and it's been really hard. And so I'm just gonna let her be with us, if you guys are cool with that. Okay, so the Folk 1 transfer has 3 different sheets to it, okay? And it has a cool design because it has some thick areas that are bigger design, and then it has some smaller, more delicate designs. Hey, and I'll show you those. So that's the fun thing about this transfer is you can use either one. You can make it really thick and bold, or you can use kind of the more delicate, intricate design of this. So Carly, we got Carly and Rhonda want to transfer, sweet. Okay, and then my stripes aren't very big. They're about the width of a piece of tape. And so what I'm gonna do is kind of look at this and see what will fit well. I think this design would fit about perfectly. Sorry, Max. so I could use one of those for my design. I can use really any piece I want. I think this would be really cool. I'm really, really digging that. So I'm thinking that we will do that. So what I'm gonna do, so I don't waste a ton of this, and I can kind of use about the size and amount that I need, is I'm just gonna take a piece of tape that I had, you know, that's the distance of my stripes, and then I can put it right over the top of this transfer and kind of see about what it's gonna cover, okay? And that way I'm not cutting out a big chunk, I can just cut a little bit of the transfer and kind of go from there, okay? So now that I have that idea, I'm just gonna take my scissors and, hey, girlfriend, that's inappropriate. And we are just gonna cut a little piece of this off. Was there someone here? Is that why you were barking? Was there somebody here? Did you see somebody? Who was it? You gotta tell us. Huh? Was it a friend? All right, so I'm just gonna take that little piece here, and I think that looks kind of cool. Take a little piece of my tape. This is why I always have tape handy. Tape, scissors, and stuff to apply the transfer with. So we're just gonna take that and kind of set it right there, so I know where that's gonna go. And then I'm just gonna keep cutting out little pieces. I could cut a whole strip, but I kind of wanna save what I can of the design and just use the pieces that I wanna use, all right? So let's see. I really like these arrows. I think those are a great thing to use in this, but it doesn't have to be perfectly cut out either. If it goes over my tape, what I'm gonna do is just be really careful when I remove my tape so that I don't pull off the transfer with it, because it will overlap just a tiny bit. Okay, I feel like let's put that one down here. Yeah, I like that. So we'll take that one, put that one down on this stripe. Do you like doing this, Mags? Is this fun? Or no? She's like, no, I'd rather be outside chasing whatever I'm barking at. Okay, and let's see. I'm kind of liking that design in it with the little arrows. I think that's kind of cool too. So let's kind of cut that piece out, and then we can decide what we want to use of it. Then we can add some more delicate pieces like I showed you in the design. There's some pieces that are thicker and bigger and other pieces that are a little bit more delicate and small. Oh, I love that. I think that's super fun. So let's cut out that section, and then we can still use these sides of it as well. Well, do I want to do that? Yeah, I want to do that. Okay. And I'm just going to cut straight up. I'll save my little side pieces. This is nice because these are matching. These side pieces are matching right here and here. And so if I want something to be, you know, the same in both places, then I can have two of them instead of just one. All right. So we'll take this and we're going to kind of tape it there. I'm liking that. Oh, I hope so, Roz. In my mind, it's going to be awesome. Sometimes you think things are going to be awesome and then you're like, oh dear, what did I do? But that's why we have paint, because you can always paint over it. No, I think it's going to be really cool though. I am excited about it actually. And on a second thought, let's pull this, let's set this aside. Since we have these two that I just cut out, remember I said we've got two that are matching. Let's go ahead and use those instead, so it's on the top and bottom, they match. So let's go, let's see, how do we want to put this? It's only going to show about that much. So let's save the little diamonds at the end. You can always use these little tiny pieces. Oh, Maggie, do you need to put your hand there? Do you want to help? You're such a good helper. You can save these small pieces, always set them aside. I usually just make a little pile and set them aside like that. Let's tape this one up. So this is a good, I like showing you things like this because this kind of, you know, shows you how I plan out and design a piece and how to tape little pieces up, cut it apart, tape it up, and decide how you want it to look, what you want it to look like, and make it work for you. And then it makes it more custom. It doesn't have to be, and you know what, I'm gonna leave both diamonds on that one. It doesn't have to be the whole entire transfer. I mean, you can use it just a little bit here and there, and you can kind of make it your own and make it unique and custom. And that's one thing that I really love about the transfers, is kind of thinking outside the box with them. All right, so we've got this cool design here. We've got this little arrows here. We have this one. Maggie, you're such a good girl. Let's see, we want to put this one, because I don't want them to be like exactly matching up either. So I'm going to take this one and I'm kind of liking it like right here in that stripe. I know it's kind of hard for you guys to see those stripes, but let me see. Once I pull that back, you're going to be able to see all of those cool stripes. All right. And okay, let's add some more here. Let's look here. I'm thinking let's add some of this more delicate. This feels a little bit more Aztec to me, and I really love that. I love the feel of that. So maybe we'll kind of make this, I like this, and I really like this too. It's more, it's very small and delicate, which I think is kind of cool. So let's snatch this part right here for now. And oh, look, that's going to be perfect. I'm not even going to cut it apart because it's going to be real close to where I want it. And I'll just take my tape. I will add the transfers over top of the tape, Carly, and then, there we go. And then I will pull them off after I've added the transfers. So what I'll do, probably the best method to remove the tape would be just to take a little X-Acto knife. And I actually have one close by, I'll show you. And just barely slice, just gently slice the edges of the tape. And that way when I pull it back, my transfer isn't going to come off with the tape if I've overlapped some. So I think that's gonna be our best practice there. Okay, so we've got a little bit here. Let's add a little bit more here. And don't worry, Maggie will move out of our way as we move along. I think she will. Okay, let's add a little bit. Let's add a little bit more of this over here. So we'll use this bottom design here. This is also called the Folk 1 transfer, just in case you guys were wondering. I typically leave everything in the comments or at the top, but I wanted to make sure my last time I posted as a for sale post, it was really weird. And I wanted to make sure that didn't happen again. So I decided I would just add those after. Maggie, you're such a good helper. Yeah, you are. Okay. Maggie is a good helper. And yes, she has been, she's kind of had a hard time too. So that Poe was her playmate. Poe was actually her son as well. So, okay. Let's see. Okay, I'm loving that little piece. I feel like that kind of gives us direction too. It looks kind of like an arrow. So let's use that little piece at the end. My little tape. And let's see where we at. Oh, that is not what I want. This one is what I want right here. Okay. And our little arrow piece that I grabbed out, and now I realized I was on the wrong piece anyway, so that wouldn't work. let's set it here because we might add it in here. I think that'd look kind of cool. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4 stripes on the top and on the bottom. And so I'm gonna kind of do kind of every other. I have my Folk One transfers here. I'm gonna take that off so that's not confusing. And I'm going to add a little bit of Cheetah Print now. Okay, so let's set these aside. I'll have plenty to do on the other side of the dresser and then probably a little bit to add to the front as well. So let's grab our cheetah. And I love this transfer because it is very forgiving and very cuttable, pieceable. How about that? Cuttable and pieceable. It also comes in several sheets, and they are just full sheets like this. So this part is going to be super easy to apply to my stripes because all I have to do is cut straight lines. So let's just go ahead and cut that. That's about the width of a tape, I would say. Okay, that's pretty good. Let's tape that up so we know where we want it. And we may have to just do this part, and then I will go on my page and paint some florals on the sides because I'm not sure we're gonna have time to do both. But I think this is a cool technique to show you guys, and if you can use it, I think you will enjoy it. So, okay. And let's grab another. I have some scraps I saved from the cheetah too. So I'm gonna go ahead and just use that little piece and cut out my straight line, straight-ish. Doesn't have to be perfect, remember, we're going over the edges of the tape. And okay, that's gonna be good. I'll cut off that excess down there, and then we'll tape this one here. I think this is gonna be cool. It's gonna be like really funky, but not, because they're neutral colors, they're black and white, it's not gonna be like overwhelming. And then I can add my color when I add my design to the front. So this is just kind of a fun accent, really. Okay, let's cut. We've got 1, 2 more stripes to fill. Actually, this one has an extra, so we'll kind of do that. This is gonna be a big, long one, so I'll probably need to go most of the length of this. Set that aside. Let's see where we're at. Well, that's gonna be about perfect. And then if I'm a little bit short, I can just use this right here, my extra, and fill in the blanks, which is easy peasy. All right, looks like Maggie's chilling now. Okay, give us an idea. I know this probably looks a little bit confusing for you guys because you can't see the tape lines like I can because I've painted over them a little bit. But if you'll bear with me, I promise it will make sense once we are all through this whole part. Okay, so I'm gonna take that and then I'm just gonna match up my scraps instead of cutting any more into this because I got a pretty good chunk. This would cover a drawer, or, oh sorry, that's the full size, but this would cover a drawer or sides of a drawer. So I don't wanna cut into this if I don't have to. So I'm gonna set that aside and I'm gonna use the scraps that I have to fill in our other stripe. I love mixing and matching transfers. I think it's fun, it's unique and creative, and then also you can use them, you can do more projects because you can use like little scraps, you know? So I think that's fun. Okay, we'll kind of go that way with it. Where are we at here? Okay, and then that's gonna match up pretty nicely as well. The good thing about these as well is if your cheetah print isn't matching up perfectly, you know, you have an edge or something, like right here I kind of have an edge. It's not a big deal because I can easily take black paint and a little brush and kind of add in the rest of the design and finish it out, okay? So now we have an outline of what our stripes are gonna be like. So let's apply them and then let's remove a little bit of tape so you guys can actually see this. Because I think that is, like, that's the fun part, right? The reveal. Okay, so now I've got them all taped off. I'm gonna use my little wooden tool And I'm gonna bring you guys just a little bit closer so you can see a little bit better. And hopefully maybe then you can see the stripes as well. Okay, cool. All right, so let's start up top. I'm gonna start with this little middle piece first, just so I can kind of center it, and then I can go off of that. So I'll just take my little tapes, put them aside, peel that back, and about there, okay? And then I'm just going to burnish it. Just apply it to my piece. Just want to make sure that you apply it really well. If you start to peel it up and any of it comes off or it's still sticking to the clear, just put it back down and rub it a little bit more, and then it will adhere, okay? I don't mind if it distresses a little bit. If you don't want it to distress at all, just go really slow and slowly peel back. And that way, if anything's not adhering, you can easily just quickly put it back down and burnish it a little bit more. Okay, all right, we got one on there. Grab my little X-Acto knife. So when we're ready, let's add the bottom and the top. And I'll just set these aside because I can use these little tape scraps. If I just carefully set them like on the back of the dresser, then when I do my other side, I can use the same little scraps and I'm not wasting. So, okay, let's see. I think we should go this way. And I'm just gonna kind of line that up. Now this isn't taking up the whole space, obviously, but that's okay. I don't think it really has to. I think sometimes it's good to have like a little bit of empty space as well. But if you are doing something like this and you don't like that, you can always take the part that you cut off and match it up and then apply it. And then you won't have that empty space. Okay. Go. And I can see over here, I overlap just a tiny bit onto the tape. So that will be an area I'll probably want to take the X-Acto to. Now this one, and actually, I don't know guys, I'm kind of thinking that we might want to kind of fill in that space. I know I said I like the empty space, but the more I think about it, I'm thinking we should fill that in. And I think we'll be able to match this up pretty well on both sides to fill that in. The only reason being is, let's see, because I think I want it to complete this stripe, and I think we can kind of go like this, and then we can put it on both sides of it. I'm a little bit nervous if I don't, then it won't look like a stripe as much as I want it to. So let's just go ahead and match that up. Okay. And we just created our own design as well because those aren't intended to be matched up. But you can match them up however you want. It'd be really cool if you could match them up and make like letters or something. I think that would be kind of awesome. All right. Okay, just slowly peel that back. I go back over it with my finger. Because it's white paint, I don't want to use this to go back over it without the plastic because I don't want it to leave any little brown marks. Sometimes if you have white paint, it will do that, so I hesitate unless I am going to glaze it or it's going to be kind of a dirty piece. By dirty, I mean like a grungy look. Okay, and then I'm just gonna cut off any white space that I see so that I can match that up really nicely. Okay, and then we'll just peel it back and kind of match up. There. Perfect. I kind of like that. I think that looks kind of cool. Okay, we can just burnish it on there. And we'll do the top piece, and then we'll peel back a piece of the tape so you guys can kind of see what that's starting to look like. All right. So now we need another piece of our Aztec or our boho or folk one print because I used some. So let's see what we like. I kind of like that. I like those little things. I think that's kind of cool. We have more of that one. Oh, maybe we should do that. That looks kind of cool. Let's use that one. It won't use the whole piece, but let's see where it lays on our tape. Let's see. Okay. It's gonna lay about like that, and it's gonna cut off about right there. So let's just cut off that little triangle, and we'll save him. We can use him somewhere else. Okay. All right, so about like that. That's cool. I like it. And we'll add it on there. And I'm not really burnishing it. If it lays over the tape, I'm not burnishing it there. I'm mostly just doing it over my painted surface because I'm really not worried about it sticking to the tape. I don't want it to, really. So go ahead and slowly. I'm more careful when I pull these back. These have little tiny individual dots, as you can see. And sometimes they take a little bit extra to make sure that they are on all the way. Okay, just use my finger. Fingers are a great tool. Let's add just a little one. Remember, we saved these two cute little arrows, so let's go ahead and add one of those arrows. That's why you save pieces, because you're going to use them. All right. And we'll add on our little arrow up here. Okay. Oh. Daggers. That's inappropriate. Like she knows what inappropriate means, right? Okay, let's take off a piece of tape so you guys can see what at least one of these stripes is gonna look like. You can tell it's probably gonna take me a little while to do this whole thing. Better be awesome. So I have this cool little X-Acto knife from Prima. I'm just gonna take it and I'm just gonna really, I'm like super gently just going down the line of the tape. And this is just to kind of put a little line in between my transfer and my tape, just to make sure that I don't peel off my transfer and all my hard work when I peel back my tape. Oops. Okay. And I'll also do one just here at the bottom, because I have another tape that goes across, right? All right, so let's kind of peel this one off. Then at least you guys can kind of see. Now, like I said, I may paint these black. Right now they're kind of a teal. I need to put everything together and then kind of decide what I'm gonna do. But I'll just kind of slowly peel that. Make sure I did a good enough job slicing that edge. Looking pretty sharp. That's gonna give me a nice sharp finish like that. Okay. Sweet. Yeah, that's awesome. All right. And then when I peel off this one, I'm not going to quite peel off this one yet, but I'm just going to give you a little sneak peek because we still have to do our other. Let's see how cool that's going to be. Those stripes. I think it's going to be cool. I think it's going to work, you guys. It's going to work. Yeah, this is going to be awesome. Okay, cool. All right, so that is kind of a sneak peek of what this baby's going to look like when we are all done with her. So I'm going to put that back because I got to put my cheetah prints on. But that's how we do it. That's how I am applying all of my transfers to this kind of funky design. And then we'll do something real cool on the front. Like I said, this is going to be like a funky coffee bar. Thanks, Roz. I'm glad you love it. And something that will be kind of fun for you guys as well. So I am going to continue working on this. Once I get these applied, I'm going to hop on my page and I'm going to paint some flowers live. So if you guys would like to join me, I would love that. It's on Apple Blossom Way and you can find it. There's a link at the top and we will add some cool kind of like orangey and blue flowers to it. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day and I will see you next time. And you can still comment and I will choose a winner for our transfer at the end. Thanks for being patient with me. I really appreciate it. And thank you for watching. Bye.